sirens wail, roads are blocked, trucks burn at intersections. Videos spread rapidly across social media, thick black smoke rising over cities that never seem to sleep. The name at the center of the storm is El Mencho, leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Vehicles torched, sudden road blockades, armed forces flooding the streets. And when Mexico convulses, the tremors don't stop there. Hundreds of miles north, along the deserts of New Mexico, small towns standing right on the border feel the shift in atmosphere. Border crossings tighten, patrols increase, trade routes slow. Communities that are usually quiet suddenly move into high alert. These are 15 New Mexico towns that stand closest to that pulse. Sunland Park sits almost fused to the heartbeat of the border. On one side, it directly borders Ciudad Juárez. On the other, it blends into the El Paso metro area. Geographically small, strategically significant. This is one of the places where the United States and Mexico physically touch every day. Thousands of vehicles, cross-border workers, and logistics trucks passing through. The population is around 19,000. Median household income is roughly $62,000, with a poverty rate near 23%. In terms of safety, the violent crime rate is around 450 per 100,000 residents. Moderate by New Mexico standards, but still above the national average. Property crime is also notable, particularly vehicle theft and burglary. When major operations unfold in Juárez or the state of Chihuahua, the effects are felt quickly here. Increased patrols, tightened entry lanes, and instant economic tension. If Sunland Park is the urban pulse in the far southwest corner of New Mexico, Santa Teresa is the engine. Just minutes away and still pressed against the international line, its atmosphere is completely different. This isn't about casinos or dense residential neighborhoods. It's about massive warehouses, rail lines, and endless lines of cargo trucks. Santa Teresa is home to the Santa Teresa Port of Entry, one of the largest commercial land ports in the state. Thousands of trucks pass through each week, moving goods to and from Mexico. An international rail line also runs through here, making it a critical logistics hub that often escapes public attention. When tensions escalate on the Mexican side, Santa Teresa immediately shifts into high alert mode. Beneath the calm desert landscape, this town is one of the most economically sensitive gateways along the southern border. Columbus is different. It's quiet. This small town stands directly on the border facing Puerto Palomas, Chihuahua, separated only by fencing and a modest port of entry. Its population is under 1,500. An open desert surrounds it on all sides. But Columbus carries a history that sets it apart. In 1916, it was attacked by forces led by Pancho Villa, the only major foreign military raid on the U.S. mainland in the 20th century. Today, that event is commemorated at Pancho Villa State Park, which serves as a modest tourist attraction in an otherwise quiet town. Economically, Columbus struggles. Median household income sits around $26,000, with a poverty rate near 23%. Statistically, crime rates are not as high as in larger cities. Violent crime ranges between 300 per 100,000 residents. But its geographic isolation creates its own sense of vulnerability. If tensions rise in Chihuahua, the impact is immediate, not through prolonged sirens, but through suddenly empty streets and border gates that slow to a crawl. Meanwhile, Animas has almost nothing but desert. This small community in Hidalgo County sits very close to the international line, yet it feels completely cut off from everything. what makes Animas feel tense isn't just crime statistics, it's location. Open desert with few natural barriers makes it part of a remote transit corridor. When operations intensify on the Mexican side or crossings increase, areas like Animas quickly shift into active patrol zones. Its population doesn't even reach 300. There's no real downtown, no major commercial center, just stretches of dry land, ranches, and long roads that seem endless. Because it's so small, crime statistics can fluctuate sharply from year to year. However, Hidalgo County records a violent crime rate of around 350 per 100,000 residents, and U.S. Border Patrol presence in the surrounding desert is heavy and constant. If the previous four towns stand directly on the line, Las Cruces is the region's center of gravity. It doesn't physically touch the border fence, but the flows, legal, economic, migratory, and federal enforcement, converge here. Its violent crime rate sits around 750 per 100,000 residents, higher than the national average. Property crime is also significant, particularly vehicle theft and burglary. As the federal court hub for southern New Mexico, many narcotics and cross-border smuggling cases are processed here. With a population of roughly 110,000, it is the second largest city in the state and effectively the capital of the southern region. Median household income is about $55,000, while the poverty rate remains relatively high at around 22%. From Las Cruces, Interstate 10 stretches west, and that's where Deming stands. This small city in Luna County may look like a typical desert stopover, but its position along the I-10 corridor places it frequently in reports involving drug trafficking and human smuggling. The highway connects California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And for federal authorities, it's an artery that must be constantly monitored. Deming has a population of about 15,000. Median household income is around $34,000, with a poverty rate nearing 30%. Employment largely depends on agriculture, especially chili peppers and onions, along with local government and small service industries. In terms of safety, the violent crime rate is roughly 550 per 100,000 residents, above the national average. Property crime is also elevated, particularly vehicle theft, a pattern often seen in transportation corridor cities. If Las Cruces is the hub and Deming is the desert crossroads, then Vado feels like the empty stretch in between. Located along the I-10 corridor, just a few miles south of Las Cruces, Vado is often overlooked, even though its position places it directly within the orbit of border dynamics. Its population is around 3,200 people. The median household income sits at about $37,000, one of the lower figures in this region. The poverty rate is estimated at 25%. Because of its small size, the absolute number of crimes is not high. However, Doña Ana County, its administrative jurisdiction, records a violent crime rate of about 400 to 500 per 100,000 residents, with property crime being more dominant. Vehicle theft and burglary are often the largest categories, typical for communities along major transportation corridors. Chaparral is unique and somewhat confusing. Administratively, it belongs to New Mexico, but geographically and socially, it feels like a piece of El Paso left behind on the other side of the state line. Part of the community is even split between New Mexico and Texas, creating unusual jurisdictional dynamics. Interestingly, Chaparral was once known for its loose gambling regulations before the state tightened the rules, briefly becoming a magnet for adult entertainment and dog racing activities. Its population is about 17,000 people. The median household income is around $46,000, with a poverty rate of about 27%. Many residents work in El Paso or Las Cruces, making Chaparral more of a commuter community than an independent economic center. Alamogordo is not on the borderline and is not crossed by I-10, yet it remains within the orbit of southern New Mexico's regional movement routes. The city stands at the edge of the Tularosa Desert, beneath the shadow of the Sacramento Mountains, and serves as the gateway to White Sands National Park, one of the most iconic landscapes in the state. Its population is about 32,000 people. The median household income is around $55,000, with a poverty rate of about 16%. The presence of Holloman Air Force Base provides economic stability and gives the city a strong military identity. Statistically, however, the violent crime rate ranges from 600 to 700 per 100,000 residents, higher than the national average, while property crime is also significant. Although not directly associated with smuggling issues, Alamogordo remains part of the regional mobility network, particularly as a transit point toward West Texas and other southern areas. Moving farther southwest, the landscape shifts again. Silver City is not directly on the borderline, but its location in Grant County places it within the same southern regional orbit, close to Arizona and not too far from routes leading toward Mexico. In the past, this town thrived on silver and copper mining. Even its name was born from the late 19th century mining boom. In terms of crime, the violent crime rate is estimated to be around 550 per 100,000 residents, while property crime remains more dominant. It is not associated with smuggling headlines like towns along I-10, yet Silver City is still part of a regional network connected by desert highways and cross-county movement. Its population is about 9,000 people. The median household income is around $38,000, with a poverty rate of about 23%. Today, its economy relies on education, healthcare services, and small-scale tourism, largely supported by the presence of Western New Mexico University, which gives the town a distinct academic atmosphere. If you drive west on I-10 before crossing into Arizona, Lordsburg is one of the last stops. The town is small, with a population of only about 2,100 people, yet its position is strategic. It sits at a desert crossroads linking New Mexico, Arizona, and southern routes toward the Mexico border. On the regional corridor map, Lordsburg is not a hub, but it lies directly along a major artery. The median household income is around $36,000, with a poverty rate near 23%. Employment opportunities are limited to local government, state correctional facilities, transportation, and basic services for interstate travelers. Its history is also notable. During World War II, Lordsburg served as an internment campsite for people of Japanese and German descent. This small town has long stood along the path of human movement, whether voluntary or forced. Between Las Cruces and Truth or Consequences, there is one name far better known for flavor than for crime: Hatch. This small village, with a population of about 1,500 people, calls itself the Chile capital of the world. At the end of every summer, the Hatch Chile Festival draws thousands of visitors. a small irony for a place that feels quiet and deeply agricultural the rest of the year. Its economy depends heavily on farming, especially New Mexico's signature green chile, onions, and other field crops. In terms of crime, the absolute numbers are small because the population is small. However, at the county level, the violent crime rate is around 450 per 100,000 residents, while property crime appears more frequently in the form of theft and burglary. Hatch is not a town closely associated with hard border issues, yet it remains connected to the same regional roots. The long roads that tie together agriculture, logistics, and the broader dynamics of southern New Mexico. The name alone sounds like a joke, but this town is real. Truth or Consequences, often shortened to T or C, got its name from a popular 1950 radio show hosted by Ralph Edwards. Its population is around 6,000 people. The median household income is about $33,000, with a poverty rate close to 31%. Its economy depends on small-scale tourism and natural hot springs. The town is well known for its hot springs, which have been used since the era of native inhabitants. Statistically, however, the violent crime rate ranges from 500 to 650 per 100,000 residents. Geographically, T or C is not directly on the borderline, but it still sits within the southern corridor connected by Huetbos I-25 and regional routes toward Las Cruces. It may be known for its quirky name and hot springs, but its economic reality is far tougher than a simple radio gimmick. If Las Cruces is the modern center, Mesilla is its historic heart. This small town is only minutes from Las Cruces, yet its atmosphere feels like stepping back into the 19th century. Its central plaza remains intact, surrounded by old adobe buildings, restaurants, and art galleries. This is where border legends once truly came alive. Mesilla was once part of disputed territory between the United States and Mexico before the Gadsden Purchase of 1853 established it as part of the United States. Billy the Kid was even tried and sentenced to death here in 1881. Its population is small, under 2,000 people. The median household income is around $74,000, higher than many other corridor towns. Its economy relies on tourism, restaurants, and small history-based businesses. Bayard feels like a faint echo of southern New Mexico's mining era. The town sits in Grant County, not far from Silver City, and was born from the copper industry that once dominated the southwestern part of the state. Its population is only about 2,000 people, small, quiet, and deeply dependent on regional dynamics. The median household income is around $34,000, with a poverty rate of about 34%. In terms of crime, the absolute numbers are low because of the small population, but at the county level, the violent crime rate ranges from 400 to 500 per 100,000 residents, while property crime appears more often in the form of theft and vandalism. Bayard is not located on the borderline, yet it remains part of the same southern network. Small towns connected by frontier history, resource-based economies, and the long desert routes that tie them all together.